You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you should definitely do so right now by hitting that red subscribe button down below or go to youtube.com/49erstv. If you're watching right now and you're like, I'm a diehard Niner fan, I want better 49ers news and rumors on YouTube, this is the place to go. We hit you with the latest 49ers news and rumors, all of the training camp updates, live shows every single Thursday. When breaking news happens, we bring it to you, and we're trying to get to 40,000 subscribers. So help us out and hit that red subscribe button down below. Let's kick off this mailbag with this question coming in from Double B Studio. Defense will shut down Mahomes. Yeah, I'm not expecting Patrick Mahomes to get a lot of time. I mean, Jimmy Garopolo is only going to play one series. Double B Studio, thank you for that $5 super chat. So Mahomes isn't going to get a lot of action, if any. I wouldn't be surprised if Andy Reid holds him out of the lineup. Speaking of those quarterbacks, though, Kyle Shanahan did say on Wednesday, as we record this during our live show on Thursday, that Jimmy Garoppolo is only going to play one series with the ones, and then Trey Lance is going to play around 30 snaps. So that could happen over the duration of maybe 2 quarters, maybe 2+ quarters. That's something to keep an eye out on for the 49ers preseason debut against KC on Saturday night at Levi Stadium. Niner faithful, who are you most excited to see in preseason other than Trey Lance? I want to see if this Trent Sherfield hype is for real. That's what I'm looking forward to, because I watched Trent Sherfield, and honestly, he has this bounce in his step. He's got this lankiness to him that really reminds me in a weird way of Antonio Brown, and I just want to see if Trent Sherfield can produce on the game field like he's been producing on the practice field, because so far during training camp, Sherfield has been tearing it up. He's been one of the breakout players, and at 25 years old, if you're able to get him on this roster, and if he can produce, you're only giving him $200,000 of money at signing. This could end up being a buy low, get great value deal for Trent Sherfield, and maybe he works his way into wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4 with the uncertainty that's hovering around Jalen Hurd and his injury problems. Another super chat coming in, this time $10 from Hitman L. When your LP coming out, Chase, I seen you got bars off the top in your pre-show banter, LOL. So what he's talking about is I'm a man of versatility, and when I got to rhyme and spit bars and be a rapper, I can do that. Hitman L, very impressed by it. You want to do a collab? You want to put together a song? Let's do it. Maybe we can get creative and even come out with a 49er song prior to the season. $5 super chat from Double B Studio. Thanks for another question. Will Jimmy score a touchdown? Jimmy's only playing one series on Saturday, so if he does score a touchdown, he's going to march the first-team offense right down the field, and they're going to reach the promised land. That's the only scenario that Jimmy scores a touchdown. So we'll see. If it does happen, that's a good sign for this first-team offense moving forward, Double B Studio. Appreciate that $5 super chat. We'll see if Jimmy G is able to lead the first-team offense down the field. Oh, how about this? Jacripsy Tart, not Jaquaski Tart. Very creative. Now that Xavier Howard got his contract figured out, could the Niners still trade for Stephon Gilmore? I'm glad that for the Dolphins' sake, they got that Xavier Howard dilemma figured out, because I think Xavier Howard, otherwise known as X, is the best cornerback in the league. League-high 10 interceptions last year. He's still pretty young. As for Stephon Gilmore, I think the market for him in terms of a trade would be way too high for the 49ers' liking. I think the Patriots, even though he's going into the final year of his contract, are probably asking for a first-round pick, and the Patriots have a really good team. So if you're Gilmore, do you want to demand a trade away from Bill Belichick and New England, where there's a lot of certainty there, with you probably competing for a playoff spot, maybe even another Super Bowl if they're able to figure out the quarterback situation? If I'm the Niners, I don't have a lot of future draft capital because I gave that up to select Trey Lance. So that might take me out of the running for Stephon Gilmore because I don't have a first-round pick if that's the asking price from New England. But if they want a second-round pick, maybe even a third on top of that, I'd think long and hard about it if I'm John Lynch, because that secondary is a little bit thin. So I'd probably give up a second and third rounder for Gilmore. What would you give up? Cook up some trade scenarios in the comment section and let me know what you would give up for Stephon Gilmore, who's one of the best cornerbacks in the National Football League. Another super chat coming in, this time $20 from Noah Pena. What players are less likely to play against the stinking Chiefs? Yes, I know I called them the chefs. Okay, I see what you're saying there. I'm not sure what the reference is there for chefs, but the stinking chefs. Noah Pena with the $20 super chat. Thank you, my guy. So the ones are going to get very limited action. If you're just joining us on our live show as we record this on Thursday, Kyle Shanahan said that the first-team offense is only going to play one series. Now, Jimmy G, they could go right down the field and score a touchdown, which means they get a lot of snaps within that first series. If they go 3 and out, I wouldn't expect Kyle Shanahan to trot out the first-team offense once again. This is really a showing in the preseason opener to see what the other guys can do outside of the starters, especially those players who are 3rd and 4th on the depth chart, really scratching and clawing to be on that 53-man roster. Gerald Hampton, will Thomas be returning punts? So right now, guess who's the starting punt returner on the 49ers depth chart? It's Brandon Ayuk. That's come as a little bit of a surprise to some, but the Niners released their first official/unofficial depth chart, and Brandon Ayuk is the starting punt returner. Now, I'm not a huge fan of having arguably my best wide receiver. Maybe he's behind Deebo Samuel. Either way, he's one of the top 2 guys, one of the most lethal weapons on this Niners offense. I'm never a huge fan of having those guys on the special teams units, but I do think that special teams really matter because you have Ayuk back there returning punts. He is a threat to take it to the crib on any given occasion and at the very least flip the field for the offense. Samurai Stew, Jaquaski Tart is injured. Tony Jefferson's out. Jamal Adams and the Sea Chickens haven't agreed to a deal. Trade for Jamal Adams, faithful, #49ers. Could you imagine the Seattle Seahawks, after giving up everything that they gave up for a safety and a box safety, trading him away to the San Francisco 49ers? This is one of the most heated rivals across the entire National Football League. And for that lone reason, I don't see Seattle trading away Jamal Adams. Now, according to some reporters up there in the Pacific Northwest, Jamal Adams and the Seahawks not on the same page. They couldn't come to an agreement on a contract worth around $70 million because they're about $4 million apart. I think eventually either Adams' camp or the Seahawks are going to budge and they're going to get a deal done, considering how much Seattle gave up for him. I'd put the realistic meter of this actually happening very, very low at like a 0, maybe even a 1. I like Adams as a player. I mean, he's contributed, I think, around 15, 16 sacks over the last 2 years, but as a safety, you can really only allow him to flourish and thrive in the box. So he's somewhat limited at the safety spot. He's not a rangy safety who goes sideline to sideline. You really just want him in there to blitz the quarterback and almost basically play linebacker. So I do not think, Samurai Stew, that the Niners are going to pull off a trade for Jamal Adams. Do you think Adams is crazy for rejecting $70 million? Because he wants around 74. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Be sure to get those votes in the comment section down below. And if anything else, are Seattle fans crazy? Are they weird? That's definitely a Y for yes. This mailbag presented to you by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. I'm telling you, this is one of the best deals out there of any sportsbook, and their sportsbooks are popping up every single day. If you go to chatsports.com/49bet, enter the promo code Niners125, you get a 125% deposit bonus, meaning if you put $100 in your account, you get $225 of virtually free money. And how about putting some money down on these odds? NFC West odds, San Francisco 49ers, the leaders in the clubhouse at plus 175. The Rams at 2-1 odds. Seattle Seahawks at plus 250. Arizona Cardinals at plus 500. As for over-under win totals on BetUS, Niners, Rams tied at 10.5 wins. I've taken the over for the Niners. I've already placed that bet. Seattle Seahawks, 9.5 wins. Arizona Cardinals has gone up from 8 to 8.5. Once again, chatsports.com/49bet. Enter the promo code Niners125. If you search BetUS on Google, it's not going to work. You have to use that link at the bottom of your screen as well as that promo code to get that 125% deposit bonus. If you don't, you're a schmuck, so be sure to use that link. Move ahead in this mailbag with this question from Life Done Daily. Who locks down wide receiver 3 in your opinion? At this point, I think it's going to be Mohamed Sanu. After that, I think it's going to be Trent Sherfield. A couple of other players in the mix. We'll see what happens on Saturday night against the Kansas City Chiefs. Gopher, what is the percentage chance of Nick Bosa starting week 1? Kyle Shanahan said he expects Bosa to play. But I've been thinking long and hard about this. I think the percentage chance of Bosa playing is at 70. Because I don't think Nick Bosa has to play against the Detroit Lions because I don't think that team is good. And if Nick Bosa isn't ready to play in week 2 against the Eagles, I don't think he has to play in week 2 either. Don't mess around with the torn ACL. Don't mess around with a generational player coming off the edge who is a bona fide superstar. The Super Chats are piling in. Noah Pena with another one. Sent Chef's reference to your Instagram. LOL, go 49ers. Speaking of Instagram, hit me up, DM me at Chase_Senior. Noah Pena. Appreciate that. $5 Super Chat from Double B Studio is Noah Pena and Double B just coming in hot. Which player gets the first sack, the first pick, the first TD? I say Debo gets the touchdown, Mosley gets the pick, and Ebukam gets the first sack. Are we talking regular season? Because I don't think all of that's going to happen in the preseason opener on Saturday. Which player gets the first sack? Hopefully, it's Nick Bosa if he plays. First touchdown, George Kittle. First pick, I'll switch it up, go Jason Verrett. First sack, hey, give me Nick Bosa. I want him to be on the field and healthy. So those are some of my predictions. Thank you for the $5 Super Chat. Orlando Ventura, he's always in the chat. Will Ha Ha Clinton-Dix make it to the 53-man roster? If so, what are you expecting from him? Look, this guy in the early going with the Green Bay Packers, former first-round pick in 2014, he made it to a Pro Bowl. He has basically been signed because Jaquiski Tartt is dealing with this mysterious turf toe injury that he suffered last November. Ha Ha Clinton-Dix is on the outside looking in for the final 53-man roster. The guy hasn't played since 2019. When he was on the field early in his career coming out of Alabama, when he was looked at as one of the best safeties, if not the best safety coming out of that draft class, you know, he was a very good player to start his career. But at this point, hasn't played since 2019. I'm not expecting much from him. Niner Gang, help me out. Make sure you subscribe to the 49ers Report and turn on those notifications. Therefore, anytime we go live for a live show, anytime we hit you with some breaking news, anytime we hit you with the latest news and rumors, you will be notified. Hit that red subscribe button down below or go to youtube.com/49erstv. Gerald Hampton with this question. Does Street have a chance to make the final 53? I think so. When you look at the depth chart, he's currently second behind Javon Kinlaw. I think Street is a good player. I really do. And for him to be a backup right now, I think that works well for him. If he has a preseason showing that is very positive against the Kansas City Chiefs, I think that works out well for him. He's going to have a lot of opportunities throughout the preseason to really prove himself. So, yeah, I do think Kentavious Street can certainly make this roster. And I think he's in a good spot to do so because he's currently the backup for Javon Kinlaw according to the first official/unofficial depth chart that was released by the Niners this week. So I think he's a good backup interior defensive lineman. I do expect Javon Kinlaw, who he's behind, to get almost all of the snaps, and I do expect him to have a breakout season. But Kentavious Street right behind him, I like the depth there. Dominique Massey, do you think Trey Lance will be Rookie of the Year? Yeah, when you look at the Rookie of the Year odds, he's currently second behind Trevor Lawrence. It's all going to come down to how many games Trey Lance plays. And if Jimmy G continues to play well in training camp and has a good showing in preseason, he's going to become the starter. So that will mean that Trey Lance doesn't get a lot of snaps throughout this season, with the exception of him getting some of those run packages that Kyle Shanahan has been messing around with during training camp. So for Trey Lance to win Rookie of the Year, a lot has to fall right, because I think Trevor Lawrence is obviously going to be the starter in Jacksonville. I think Justin Fields is going to end up unseating Andy Dalton as the starter in Chicago, so they already will have a leg up on him. Also, Zach Wilson, day one starter for the New York Jets, who is also going to get a lot of snaps ahead of Trey Lance too. So it's going to be tough, but if Trey Lance balls out, potentially. Any chance we sign Aldon Smith from Wet Noodle 187? Man, this guy just terrorized opposing quarterbacks and opposing offenses early in his career with the Niners, and he could have ended up having a Lawrence Thomas type of career, for sure. I mean, Aldon Smith was off to a tremendous start in his career with the Niners. You look at the sack numbers, they were straight up disgusting. But this has been a guy who's run into a bunch of legal issues. He isn't the best culture guy. I thought Jay Glazer, NFL insider who was working with Smith to kind of rejuvenate and revive his NFL career, might have gotten Smith back on the right track. But I don't think you bring him back. I don't think he really gives you much. I still think he can play. Last year with the Cowboys, 5 sacks. But you look at his numbers to start his NFL career, 14 sacks as a rookie, 19.5 sacks back in 2012. And then from there, it was all downhill because he couldn't stay away from legal issues. It's a really unfortunate circumstance because when you see generational talents, when you see guys who are built different, one of one, who are special, you'd love to see them have long careers. Smith, he just hasn't been able to avoid all of the drama. Z the Dark One. Jimmy G will be MVP this year. Just watch. Okay, last week during 49ers Live, I asked all of you to give me your bold predictions for this upcoming season. We'll feature those on a future 49ers report. Z the Dark One with another bold prediction, saying Jimmy G is going to be MVP this year. He's going to be going up against some really talented players against the NFL. I mean, if Jimmy G is the MVP, that probably means that the Niners lock down the number 1 seed in the NFC. They'll have a first-round bye. The 17-game schedule, maybe some of the starters will be able to rest the final week or two. Jimmy G will honestly have to throw for like 45 touchdowns and under 10 picks to be the MVP, and the Niners are going to have a masterful season for that to be the case, but I always love hot takes, and I always love bold predictions. Z the Dark One coming in with some heat.